Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. This is going to be again Fighting Spirit Mania. This is the lower bracket final, set 7, game 4 of that set. And the score is currently 2-1 in Dewalt's favor. Bonyth starting in the upper left-hand corner as the blue Protoss. Bottom right-hand corner we got Dewalt starting as the red Protoss. It feels as far as introductions go, there's just more to say. I don't know why I felt like unveiling the map as though you were going to see something different from fight. It's like, oh, here's the map reveal. Fighting Spirit once again. I'm debating at this moment. I guess I'll try to see. I'm sure at some stage people might complain. What I may try to do is sneak in a game or two. The problem is it's hard to find. Yeah, there's Seawall, and so it's like games are more accessible than ever, but just the raw time resources to go through every Seawall game and know what games were good. Because it's kind of like I could hunt for Flash replays. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to find a good Flash replay. And that doesn't mean I'm going to find a replay from Flash that Artosis hasn't already commentated. I do know that as soon as the word Flash is on it or anything, like I could have completely different and have like a title like Flash inspired play and like 1,000 extra people, because people only care about like the top 1% of players for some reason. I don't know. Instead of that's something's always confused me about human behavior, and that maybe it's just a Western thing or something like that. But rather than being interested in like something being entertaining or good, like an intense match between these two, it's like I only want to see the best. And it's like, okay, well, what if the best is just absolutely trouncing whoever second place is, and it's super boring as a result? And it's like, no, I'll need the best. I'm like, okay, I've never understood that. So side menu rant from Beatty. Anyway, Gateway Assimilator. I prefer seeing things like I'm okay watching, for example, not the two best players at not the two best teams if the game's really freaking good. I guess having something on the line also helps, and that is maybe where the gravitation. But anyway, I digress. I think it also depends if you're a player or whatnot, because I almost feel like there's a degree of, this is just me talking about being able to learn something. It's like, we're going to watch the best and be able to learn from them. Like, are you? Like, it feels like if you watch someone who's just slightly above you and try to analyze what they're doing and see how it's different from you, there might be more success. But whatever. That's maybe I should watch. I feel like as far as game knowledge and commentary, there's just such a massive gap as far as knowledge between me and Nyokin and Artosis and Tasteless. So I try to learn what I can. I wish there was a guy who's just like a little bit more knowledgeable than me, and then I could hop in and do something along those lines for self-reflection purposes. I'm not exempt either. Hold myself to the standard. Anyway, it looks like we do have range queued up currently for Dewalt, but a little bit later for Bonyth by a half second. Both players at cross spawns. I am also one who needs to learn. A little bit of damage on Bonyth's probe as it's exiting. Looks like he's going to be able to make it out without too much trouble. Perfect timing on Dewalt to go ahead and escape with that probe with 0 damage suffered. Look, he's even chasing this actually quite a ways out. Is he going to keep going with that Dragoon and maybe try to get the probe blockade? This Dragoon making its way out as well. And if this turns into just a probe versus... Okay, so it didn't attempt for a block right there, but maybe. I'm wondering if he just was hoping to get a little bit of extra taxation there, but it's going to be 1-gate Robo this time. And honestly, after seeing the 1-gate expansion into 3-gate last match... by the way, that is another thing. Speaking of people that know a lot more about StarCraft than I do and being able to tap them for information, I consulted Raz, who's an amazing North American Protoss if you're unaware. Oh, Ninja Nexus, by the way. Speaking of 1-gate into expand at the 9 o'clock. So Bonyth being cute here and doing the first, I'm going to call this just straight up cheese of the match thus far. So going 1-gate into expansion, but the expansion now at the 9 o'clock location. But anyway, half second to go. Was talking about Raz, 2-gate. Ooh, this could be bad. So 2-gate Robo. We'll see how it works out. And apparently, yeah, 1-gate expand into 3-gate, a very, very powerful build. And could be considered a pretty, not like a full counter, because it's very rare where they're like, oh, yep, that's it. As far as full counter builds, there are a couple of those with like DTs and Zerglings and expansions and things like that. Although there have been times when I'm just ranting a lot for whatever with this commentary. But Raz was able to confirm that, yes, a very, very strong build just because of how things line up supply-wise. And yeah, just a powerful build. So I'm a little bit shocked that that's not potentially more of a build. And I'm also I think I want to like sit down at some point and do all the math as far as timing and whatnot and see what actually hurts. I think straight DT obviously wins because you don't have the observer out when you go just the expansion. Kind of DT, mixing in DT tends to be a big problem. Anyway, probe's already going out to the 9 o'clock location. This was a very, so kind of a cute play. Now the question is as Dewalt makes his way up, okay, so robotic support bay on the corner. This is going to come down to, I think, a degree of scouting, especially if it's going to be into 3-gate follow-up. The observer is making its way across the map. Probe already checking across, putting a defensive pylon at the 12 o'clock. And we got 2 gates out here for Bonyth. Is he going to drop the 3rd gate? And the other question is the observer's going to, this could be another thing, is the observer moves in, this could tax Dewalt's game sense, for sure. I'm wondering if Bonyth, let's see if he waits to place that gate. Because if he puts down a 3rd gate, this could look like 3rd gate into obs, interestingly enough. But I think if he comes up and he sees a probe in position this late and sees this few Dragoons trying to hide it. So he sees the Nexus drop here. That's a very late Nexus drop. That's a very late Nexus drop for Robo into 2-gate. And I have a feeling Dewalt's not going to buy that. He is getting chased down with that probe, or with the observer. But I have to imagine he's thinking, okay, where did that additional tech go? I'm wondering if he has a sense of it. So his observer got picked off, by the way. But let's see if he makes his way out on the map, recognizing how, because I think he could have clicked. He's okay, yeah, he's starting to make his way out on the map. No, he's just checking around. He's looking for, so Reaver staying. And now this might be Bonyth's game. He might have gotten away with it because Dewalt not having enough Spidey sense to pick up on the differential. A 3rd gateway dropped, by the way. No additional tech here from Bonyth, though, as of yet. So he's got a fully saturated 9 o'clock. He's gonna have 3 Nexus off 2-gate. He needs to drop a lot of Nexus, etc., to just have a lot of supply to kind of keep up. And now the problem is Dewalt might think, oh, okay, I got an earlier Nexus because of whatever, just some variance in play. So I can just sit back and Bonyth will have to come to me. And it's the exact opposite case. We're seeing the gateway flood already, which can honestly go to 9-gate with what Bonyth is fielding, at which point he's just going to have an overwhelming army. So Dewalt, yeah, I think Bonyth, with the sneaky 9 o'clock 2nd Nexus, oh, I'm going to sneeze here, is going to get away with, sneeze commentary, is going to get away with, lost my train of thought there, is going to get away with the 9 o'clock 2nd Nexus and now into 3rd Nexus. Is he just going to settle for 6 gateway? I could see, I think he's setting up to go ahead and go to the full 9 here. And I think he might have the supply buffer to go ahead and do that. Dewalt checking the 6 o'clock location currently. He's not moved out and gotten any information out of this. Looks like he's going to scoop up two Reavers, maybe make his way out, but it's too late. We already have 2 Reavers out in the front. Bonyth now has a much stronger economy. Yeah, we're going at least up to 8. We do have a Citadel of Adun behind this. He can tech, he can do everything. Zealot leg speed kicking in. Looks like he's just going to stick to the 8 rather than the full 9, but he's basically just going to be at a heat because we only have 4 gateways. So basically double the output and sustainable now versus Dewalt. So Dewalt would need absolutely miracle engagements here in order to basically beat this. Although there's no shuttle to protect these Reavers, so these Reavers are potentially exposed. So Dewalt moving into this, getting some damage done. Still hasn't checked out that 9 o'clock to see the fully functional base there. Does see these 2 Reavers on the low ground. Now this could actually be a way that Dewalt could sneak a win here. Is he just goes in, okay, the shuttle now making its way up. Last second. Single Reaver shot right there, but now Bonyth swarming down, able to pick off the Observer on top of everything else. Dewalt forcing the, ooh, took a big shot on his Reaver lines. Single Zealot also got a little bit out of control, but now Bonyth can just wait a second, wait for the gateways to just produce everything, wait for Zealot leg speed to kick in, at which point he's going to be able to, there's only 2 Zealots and some damaged Reavers in the space of this, and he's not going to be able to handle the counter Reaver swarm, or the counter Zealot swarm, I should say, with Zealot leg speed, and that should be all she wrote, potentially. Dewalt now backing up. It looks like he's going to go ahead and check at the 12 o'clock. Bonyth is actually fanning out onto the map. Another problem, actually, for Dewalt is if he tries to go, if he doesn't back up to go for his reinforcements, going to get cut out here as well. But if he tries to, oh, is he even going to see it? Okay, I think he saw the edge of it, and he's now trying to make his way back to his main, but this is now, Bonyth is up army, and this is just going to continue. Bonyth can just keep flooding forces at him, and he's just not going to be able to economically keep up as long as Bonyth stays on top of it. So Reavers engaging on Reavers. Reavers taking another shot. The shuttle's gone. The Reavers down in the fight on top of everything else. And Dewalt actually might still be able to win this fight. Never mind. Zealots are there with the Zealot leg speed, able to pin the Dragoons back. And you still have the Reavers trailing. So I think that's going to be it. And these Dragoons now pinned in a corner to where the Reavers are going to be able to get the cleanup damage. So that should be game. I'm willing to bet Dewalt sits and looks at this replay. But that is a hard read. That is such a difficult read. Is he going to GG right here? It looks like not. He does have a few additional troops. He's dropping some defensive pylons on the front. But the thing is all it takes is some Zealots rallied. It looks like it's going to be Dragoons, actually, rather than Zealots. Zealots will end of the game, but Bonyth is honestly not in a rush in the space of this. He can, again, still sit back on the 3 bases, getting that 3rd gas up as well. Single Dragoon tacking away at that 9 o'clock, by the way. And Dewalt still doesn't recognize the position he's in. So, oddly enough, though, worker count's even. It's still going to give an advantage to Bonyth, though, because the worker count is spread across more bases. Photon cannons just in case, and +1 weapons upgrading in the space of this. Looks like he's going to go ahead and check out that 6 o'clock, make sure nothing's there. So it's just kind of going through the motions as far as what remains in the space of this. We do have Scarab damage upgrading for Dewalt, which will at least give him potentially something. But especially with High Templar coming out in the field, I don't think it's going to be sufficient. Able to chase off a little bit of that attack for us. Bonyth. So now the Observer making its way in. It's going to walk out. Is it going to get a look at the gateway count is the next question. If it sees the gateway count and all this tech, I have to think that Dewalt knows that there's that additional base out here. The Observer taking a few shots right there. A Zealot also checking bottom left, and a Dragoon checking top right just to make sure there wasn't an additional hidden base out on the map. Shuttle also moving forward to go ahead and scoop up the Reavers that were stranded earlier. Bonyth potentially waiting for that for his next move out. Could also have been thinking he wanted to wait for +1 weapons to finish. So starting to run out. Oh, I don't want to say Storm here to give you guys the wrong idea. The High Templar not yet there. Side Storm is not yet upgraded. Dewalt does see a portion of that army making its way out. He's got 3 Reavers unprotected by shuttle on the front door. His Zealots still not leg speed upgraded. And so he's just, and I think these are mostly effectively, yeah, they're Zealots and they're on the ground, but they're basically there to provide just buffering. They're acting like a poor man's shield battery in this instance. And Bonyth expanding to the 12 o'clock in the space of this and just getting further ahead. And okay, now going to storm forward with the rest of these units. These could be, it looks like he is getting some Reaver shots distracted by these pylons. Shouldn't be that big an issue. And also the Archons are going to be able to peel out a lot of the rest of this. And yeah, the army on Dewalt's side just absolutely melting. Zealot's able to clean up everything to the south. There are reinforcements coming, but this is now a 50 supply lead that Bonyth has opened up. He doesn't even need to, he could back up with the rest of this attack force as well. So the Gambit plays off in the early game. Dewalt actually sneaking his own Reaver behind his own mineral lines actually to create some frustration here. Still fighting out, so I'm not even. I'm still not sure that he's ready. Yeah, they're gonna GG right there. I'm sure he's gonna look at the replay and realize the situation. Let's go back to the minute mark. I think it's gonna be around the 4-minute mark. Try to check it. So I'm saying 4 minutes. Right about here. Okay, that was way too early. What are you thinking, Diggity? Where you need to get up to the 6-minute mark. So this is the golden moment right here is, and it's kind of clever play from Bonyth as well, because he needs to steer away from that Observer. And he knows he needs to avoid the Dragoons so he doesn't end up getting picked off. He comes down here and he sees this Nexus, which is a good portion of time behind his Nexus, and just thinks, oh, well, okay, a little bit late in the build order, instead of recognizing, okay, off 2 gate, this isn't making the numbers don't add up, basically. Would be the difference, because we got what, 6 Dragoons here, we got 5 Dragoons, and that's a super hard read. That is a super hard read. in the space of that. Just recognizing, okay, that Nexus is a little bit late. With everything up, he should have gotten that Nexus down a little bit earlier. He could have just think, okay, inefficient builder or something along. I don't know that that read's possible, to be honest. Maybe at the very top tier, but anyway, maybe at other stages. This also is a really good, what's the word? Argument for active scouting, making sure you keep random units in your opponent's face on occasion to make sure you kind of get a glimpse at what their army size is without losing somehow. I guess that's the trick of it. I know pros are managing to do that. I'm not sure what the timings are for that, and obviously, anyway, could be silly commentator thought too. I digress. We are going to, so Bonyth is now tied the series 2-2. We're going to go to game 5. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.